Welcome back to part 2 of our CWC Pushroot Farm Tour, a day spent moving from farm to farm, listening, learning, and seeing firsthand how much care goes into what's produced right here in Wind River Country. You'll hear from Dandelion Farms, as well as ASI, the Alpine Science Institute, and all of it leads us to a true farm-to-table, family-style meal, prepared with locally sourced ingredients. This episode happens to be released on Christmas, a season centered on gathering, but its message holds any time of year. This episode is an invitation to explore what is grown right here in Wind River Country.
Welcome, everyone. This is the most people that have been here all year, so this makes me really happy. My name is Teresa Tibbetts, and I'm the owner of Dandelion Farm. We've been growing flowers for 8 years now, and we mainly grow flowers right now. This is my son, Taran. We mainly grow flowers for weddings that we do here and in Jackson. So actually my team is in Jackson right now at Diamond Cross Ranch doing a wedding. So we cut the field pretty hard this week. So there's not as many flowers, but there's still a lot. Yeah, so my background is in biology and ecology. So I worked as a scientist for about 20 years before I found flower farming. And then I became obsessed and there was no turning back. So I've been growing at a small scale in town, and then I've partnered with lots of different, like Second Street Farm. They let me grow flowers at their farm. I grew flowers at ASI, at the incubator plot. I've grown with lots of other community members, and it's been really great to learn from everyone. Even my first year, Farmer Fred let me go and watch him grow his cabbage and flowers. He has lots of flowers. So I've learned so much from everyone in this community. Again, I started out growing at my house, and this location here is new for us. So we bought it in 2023. We started growing this year. So this is our first year growing. The first fall that we had it, I put in a few trees, and last year we worked on getting our water system up, and as all of you are here, it was really dry last year. We really didn't get like a cover crop going or anything like that. There was actually a house where the main garden is. So we demolished a house. I don't know if you guys remember the house that was here. Does anyone remember that? I always have people stop and they're like, what happened to the house? But we demoed the house and the outbuilding. And then basically I took advantage of the fact that where the house was, we were able to put some topsoil that didn't have a lot of rock and things like that. And so I grow without pesticides or herbicides. We make a lot of compost here. My friend Janet Smithson has been bringing me her barn clean outs on the other side of that white car. All these flowers are fueled by goat poop and hay. And so we're really excited this year to have flowers. I was hoping to open up the site for You Pick this year, but we're gonna wait till next year, because about a month ago I got really excited about it because everything was taking off, but then everything grew together, and our aisles, as you will see here in a second, are not wide enough for people to walk through now. We could walk through them, but they're a little slim. So we're hoping next year to do that, and then we continue to do weddings here in Fremont County and in Jackson, and we love doing the wedding flowers. So I'm going to have us move over to the other side so you can see some of the flower beds. I'll give you a little bit more of a intro of what we grow. Let's just move over to the other side. This is the main growing area. I also have a high tunnel that's at my house in Lander as well. So I do all my spring crops like ranunculus and things like that there, because it's a little easier for me to manage with the snow and everything. And I did get a grant from NRCS, so I will be putting a high tunnel here once all of these things are done. So we grow over 100 different varieties of flowers. And this year I basically tried everything. So a lot of what you're seeing, like the sunflowers and the cosmos, some of those I just have let bloom out. A good cut flower field is green because all the flowers are being cut all the time. So if you want your flowers to make more flowers, you got a deadhead. So a lot of the things that we grow are cut and come again. So we cut them really deep and then they shoot up new flowers. And we grow a lot of different sunflowers, and we do a lot of succession planting where we start in early June, sometimes late May, and then every week we were actually planting sunflowers this year. So I just wanted to see what the production could be here. Next year we'll probably double, maybe triple our production depending on how things go this season. We're starting, this is what the dirt looked like. So excuse the weeds, we've given up. I had a really awesome crew this summer. We had 3 high schoolers and 2 students from UW. And so I have them to thank for how clean the beds are. We have a lot of specialty varieties, so I like to focus on things that don't ship. Because 80% of the flowers that you see in the grocery store are from not the U.S. They're from someplace else, Ecuador, Colombia, some are even Dutch grown. And so we try to grow things that are not shippable. So as you walk around, these right back here, these fluffy things right here, they're called Lysianthus, and they're actually from a native plant to the U.S. that grows in the southern U.S., but these have been bred to be fancy and double and all of that, but those don't ship as well. Also dahlias. So I have a whole row of dahlias, and they're like mush if we try to ship those in. And they are the queens of the late summer garden. We grow all the colors and lots of white for our weddings. We have cosmos, snapdragons, of course, lots of sunflowers. And on the other side, you'll see there's a whole bed of zinnias and calendula. We really want to foster a lot of native plants here in the future. That's what I'll be working on this fall, and I hope to get a small little nursery going as well with that. But we really needed to just get our feet under us with this place.
Why the bags?
The bags. So the little cute organza bags have a purpose. So as you move around, you'll see, actually they're dying off, but it's the grasshoppers. So for about a month, we have to bag every single bud. Otherwise, the grasshoppers would just demolish them. It was taking about an hour to 2 hours a week just to bag them, but it was the only way we could have usable blooms. Thank goodness the grasshoppers actually don't bother a lot of the other plants. We also have some veggies as well. We have some specialty squash and cucumbers. And my husband's project is he wanted me to grow corn for masa flour. And then I'm from New Mexico, so I have some green chili varieties that I'm trialing as well. We hope to get both the flowers and the veggies. And then I've actually cut some flowers for folks to arrange, if you like. And those arrangements are going to go on the tables tonight at the farm to table dinner. So I think we have 17 or 18 vases and make some arrangements. And of course, we have a great view out here. So all that you see here, these are all annuals. But I actually have a perennial bed that I'm starting right over here. And I hope to eventually get to 50% perennials. Yeah, because the annuals, it's a lot. But they are beautiful.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Has everybody been to the ASI before at all? Heard of the farm program, the CWC's farm program that's based here at all? No? Yes? No? Okay. Good. Jesse and I, we run the farm program up here. was originally developed to pretty much train more diversified fruit, vegetable, and flower growers. Over the years, this is our 5th season growing, and it's been really successful, I'd say, and very fun to have about a half acre that we pretty much grow whatever we want on at this point. And we sell produce, we give produce away, we get it to as many people that want it and need it, and we generate revenue from that to support next season's seeds, inputs, whatever. That's the base of the program. Students that come through the farm programs from April to September, they have the ability to enter our farm incubator the following season. That's when they get their own small plot of land within the fenced orchard. We'll take a look at that in a little bit, where they can do their own thing. They can grow what they want. They have our support, our tools, infrastructure, water, what have you. The goal being to lower that barrier to entry if someone wants to get into this field. Typically, we have 4 to 6 students in our farm class that come through the program. That might translate to 1 or 2 incubators the following season. And that's been, the high level overview. This property originally was a UW experiment station, grew all kinds of different fruits, but mostly apples, clear through maybe the 50s or 60s.
70.
And so a lot of the trees, the apple trees, are some of those remnants. So some are well over 100 years old now, still producing to a certain extent. Some are really good, some are not so good. So we're bringing back some of that agricultural heritage for the property. The other use of this property is the outdoor education program. There's a whole lot of public trails on the property as well for anybody to come out and use, bike, hike, what have you. So we'll take a walk up to the farm, show you guys what we're doing up there. We farm about a half an acre. The orchard might be another 1/2 to 3/4, and that's plenty of space, especially we don't really have a lot of mechanization. We use a little tractor to turn compost, and that's it. And so everything's done by hand with our students and Jesse and I. All right, so like I said, we have 2 plots, each are about a 1/4 acre, so about a half acre that we work with. This year, for the first time, we're just farming on one of those plots. The other one we've cover cropped, so we've left it do its thing for the season for a variety of reasons. That one's not as productive. I had a second baby this year. I was not here for 3 weeks. Yeah, so this will be the main plot we'll go through, show you what we're doing. We grow a variety of veggies, a bunch of different varieties, and some cut flowers that you'll see have been going absolutely bananas this year, which is really awesome. They do great every year, but it's always surprising. But yeah, a bunch of different veggies. We were experimenting with some cantaloupes this year, which we'll get to taste, which is really exciting. I think fruit, anytime you can go grow fruit in Wyoming, yeah. So we'll go through and then we'll taste a few things. Where Jesse's standing here is our wash station. So we bring all our food up here, spray it off, dunk it, what have you. Some stuff will spin in our washing machine spinner here. And then it goes we have a walk-in cooler in the container, as well as the shipping containers, also some storage, packing, that kind of thing. The goal is really to kind of showcase what you can do on a smaller scale. So shipping container, we've walled off part of it. That's the walk-in. The other half is storage. And we've got this pretty simple wash station. One really cool thing about growing up here is that we are in a little bit of a microclimate. We're actually warmer than town. And so we'll frost later than town. And as a result, we can get certain crops just that much further along to produce better than should we grow them in town. So that's pretty cool. And we can have a little bit longer of a harvest period. I don't know. I think the last few years we haven't really frosted until mid to late October, whereas town would be probably at least a couple of weeks earlier than that. A big part of what we try to do is just experiment, really. Find different ways to grow things, varieties to use. This year, this greenery down here, we tried a cover crop interplanted between sweet corn, and we learned that we should stagger those plantings farther apart because the cover crop just completely overtook the sweet corn, and the sweet corn got about yay big and never got any corn. So then we mowed it as short as I could to hopefully kill that cover crop. And then we see the lettuce, as you can see here, and that cover crop's still coming back. So that's probably not something we're going to do next year. But it's things like that we try to do and experiment. We're really lucky that our livelihood is not tied to what we produce here. So we have that flexibility to do things, have ideas and test them. One thing we grow all the time in the tunnel are these sweet peppers. They're an orange, like lunchbox pepper. They're delicious. And these are where our melons are trellised this year. We're doing a lot of interplanting this year. So interplanting different crops together to maximize some of our space. You guys can see our cut flowers are great. Beautiful. We sell them. There's always way more cut flowers than we could use. So at the end of the day, it's as much habitat as it is just like really, and the students learn how to grow certain flowers. We'll sell some bouquets. The last market we went to, we just handed out free stems. It's just really nice. Yeah. And the hive of activity that happens on these flowers when it's warm and the sun's out is incredible. We went through as a class and counted like how many species of pollinator that we saw. And I don't know, we might have gotten 12 to 15, I think. Just like visually what we could see. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We've got kohlrabi we're going to taste. Anybody know, eat, love kohlrabi as much as me? Cool. We'll have some of that. Again, some of our interplanting. This is buckwheat. It's a cover crop, so we interplanted it with our kale this year, that's done really well. That can attract some beneficial insects to hopefully prey on pests that like to eat the kale. One thing about this kind of microclimate here is we can grow these tomatoes outside without cover and get a pretty good harvest out of them before the frost. Whereas in town, if you guys are familiar with 2nd Street, they grow all of their fruiting crops under cover in the tunnels because their season just is not long enough down there. This year was the year we experimented with interplanting and some trellising, different trellising for our tomatoes. So you can see that those are tied up. The cherries are tied up there. The other ones were staked and they got so big that they started to fall over. So we had to tie them up. This is like a netting. We figured that the tomato would grow through it, be supported, and they did it. But again, the cover crop just went nuts this year. It's staggering some of that planting again so the tomato can grow out of that more. Might be something we do. But we plant everything, all these different crops with a nod toward diversity. So having diverse crops means a diverse microbiome in the soil. And we rotate those in different spots year over year. So you're not constantly hammering one bed with tomatoes and drawing the nutrients and depleting that soil of those resources every year. So we're always trying to cultivate that diversity from the ground up. That kind of goes along with a diversity of enterprises. So if someone's doing this, having a diverse mix of offerings to sell means your tomatoes aren't all in one basket. If you have a crop failure, something is always going to do well and something's always probably going to do poorly. It's just the nature of the beast out here, except for zucchini. We grow every year. We grow this native corn variety, this Indian corn, multicolored one. So it's just half this bed, and then the other half is actually a popcorn that we wanted to try this year. We haven't grown it before, so we'll see what happens. But I was inspired because someone sent us a little kit, and it was a cob, and you just stick it in a paper bag and microwave it, and the cob just all pops. And my son loved it, and I was like, oh man, I wonder if I can grow this. So we're growing it, and yeah, it would be amazing if it worked out. I think it'd be really cool to have like local popcorn. It's so fun. We do a variety of chilies here. It's Jesse and I, we have 4 students this year. It's probably about our average, is 4 to 6. It was looking super dry in here, but this is our summer cover crop mix that we put in here. Again, trying to create that diversity below ground so we can build the soil a little more. So the mix of plants out there, the mix we had 20, 30 odd species in there. Don't ask me to name them other than what I can see. You all might notice this cardboard here and the difference in color of the soil. We were approached by a grower that we work with in Idaho. He actually installed this in his place over a larger scale. And what he would do is just lay down cardboard and then put on about 6 or 8 inches of compost. And over time, that cardboard would break down, smother the weeds that were there, and hopefully control, really with a nod towards weed control over time. So we partnered with him, got a small grant to do this, to see how it went up here. And we used a variety of materials. We did these beds over 2 years. Again, that like experimental kind of idea to this whole thing is that we can do these little projects. Should we taste things?
Yeah.
Some science?
Yeah.
Let's do science. Maybe want to taste some things? Yeah. So, anybody heard of these? These are striped Armenian cucumbers. And these are amazing. They're really crunchy, sweet, kind of sweet. Yeah, I love them. This is what we do pretty often with farm class. We have a coffee break at 10 o'clock. And a lot of times you just stand here, especially when stuff is just coming into season, and we just eat and snack on vegetables. It's fantastic. So if anybody is interested in doing this next year, let me know. No experience necessary. The other thing we're going to do as well is we're going to play with this Brix meter over here. Anybody heard of a Brix meter? So it's a little handheld device that allows you to see the approximate concentration of solids in a solution. And why does that matter? It's loosely correlated to plant health and sugar content in a solution. So by examining the Brix level of a leaf, you can determine how healthy they are and how resistant to pests and how productive they might be. And we thought it might be cool to compare store-bought cherry tomatoes with our cherry tomatoes and the Brix readings and then taste them and see.
I even bought the fancy tomatoes.
There's this handy chart that tells you if you go through and do a Brix reading, what level is basically good, better, best. So we can get one of these ready and then pass it around. But basically what you do, this is a little Brix meter. You put a little bit of like plant sap or like tomato juice in this, close the thing, and then you hold it up to the light. And then you have this gradient that you'll see. And it'll, like, where that gradient changes is your reading. I might try it first and see what we
See what you get.
In the meantime, you guys feel free to come up, get some veggies, get some melon. We grew 2 varieties of melon this year, these 2 varieties. So if you happen to find a couple slices that are different, see which one tastes better.
We have a jalapeno, and then there's a red chili called Red Ember, and then a very unique one called Sugar Rush Peach, which surprisingly is very peachy. So if you get like this, the peachy one, that's the one you want. That one's got the full flavor to it. These are called Red Ember. They're spicy.
Does anybody want to look at the store-bought cherry tomato Brix meter? You just look through it like up in the light. So that's a store-bought. So yeah, like six and a half or something. Everybody want to look at this? Yeah.
So this is the store-bought one.
Yeah. Okay, let's get a good ripe one. Oh, if anybody wants to taste test the store-bought versus ours. So it's pointing right up into the sky there. This is ours. So the store-bought was like 6.5, 7.
So that would be a 10?
Where it changes.
So we're at a 10?
Yeah, I think it was like maybe just over or so. But yeah, and that's our tomatoes. And the store-bought was like 6.5 to 7.
Oh, and we need to get the kohlrabi out too. Yeah, let me cut it up for you. It's so good. You'd need to try it. Yeah, get it open and eat it.
This is very cool, and what a great day. Central Wyoming College, CWC as it's known as locally, did a really nice job of organizing a tour where we got to see dairy, and we saw flowers, and we saw vegetables, and chicken, and garlic, and it was just a really nice blend. Really fun day. I think the event sold out. Lots and lots of interest in this, and now we're here listening to local music. Beautiful, beautiful evening, having a farm-to-table dinner, and lots of community members and visitors out for the day.
And I have Ben and Lindsay joining, and we're sitting around a table. We have fresh flowers. Ben, you two have been in this world, and we talk about promoting awareness. It's a tough job for local producers.
It is a tough job. So Ben and I ran Slow Goat Farm for about a decade. We were farmstead goat cheese makers and took the opportunity from the Wyoming Food Freedom Act, which gave us our start, and actually parlayed that into opening and running Wyoming's only grade A creamery for the last 5 years. We've since transitioned and are stepping away from the food scene for a moment, but it just feels so great to be back in this community and get to experience all the awesome treats that people made for us here today.
It's nice to be able to get to try a bunch of local foods. And as far as living in Wind River country, it's amazing. I'm born and raised here, but I would choose to stay. So yeah, you can't beat that. The food scene has just expanded exponentially. So it's great that we're doing events like this now.
It helps people understand where their food comes from. Running a dairy and a creamery is definitely a lot of work. We have to get up every day and milk the goats, milk twice a day. And it's a commitment. You can't not show up for them. Same thing with the vegetables. Like you have to water them every day. You have to love them and care for them. It costs a little bit more than what you get at the grocery store because it has all that time and love. Local producer and your friends and neighbors. It feels really great to be able to be here and support this dinner and get to enjoy some of the stuff we don't try all the time. And very excited about the wine braised beef.
We're thrilled to do this, and happy holiday season, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to Wyoming's Wind River Country, Yellowstone's unique neighbor. Visit us at windriver.org and follow Wyoming's Wind River Country on Facebook and Instagram. This podcast has been brought to you by the Wind River Visitors Council.